My name is Kristen Weaver, and I'm the Deputy Coordinator for Globe Observer. With the help of my recorded panelists, I'm going to share with you some ideas related to asking for data collection in your local area via the Globe Observer app. The Globe Observer app includes a mechanism using a geofence to alert volunteers when they open the app that a local project in their area needs data, including providing specific instructions for data collection, as well as information about the research or community project the data will support. Each panelist will briefly discuss the projects they led using this capability. First is Suzi Taylor, Director of the Science Math Resource Center at Montana State University, who asked for observations to support research about prescribed fires in the Smart Fires Burn Site Monitoring Test Project.
Hi everybody, I'm Suzi Taylor at Montana State University. I'm part of the NASA ARIN project, which is closely aligned with the GLOBE program, as well as an NSF EPSCoR program called Smart Fires, Sensors, Machine Learning, and Artificial Intelligence for Real-Time Fire Science. Last fall, I applied for a data request for a specific place, the Lubrecht Experimental Forest in western Montana, at a specific time, September 16th and 17th, when our NSF team was touring Lubrecht to see examples of different controlled burn plots. The project opened at the precise date and appeared when we entered the geofenced area. The pilot test helped us think through how we might do this project with future citizen scientists so we could observe burned and potentially burned areas.
Thank you, Suzi. We look forward to the next steps after your pilot project. Next up, we have Julia White at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, who requested snowdrift photos from near Delta Junction, Alaska.
Hi, my name is Julia White. I am an intern with NASA SnowX, and our project is all about radar remote sensing of snow. And in February 2025, we had an IOP called Delta Junction Snowdrifts. And our area of interest is near military lands and on tribal lands. More specifically, it is on the ancestral lands of the Otna Native peoples. So all of this meant navigating land access very carefully and making sure that we weren't just collecting data, but communicating with the people whose land we were on. And it really reminded us that respectful science happens when we work with communities, not just in their backyard, and that research on Indigenous lands requires listening, communication, collaboration, and respect.
Thank you, Julia. I appreciate you raising those important points about permission to collect data and involving those whose lands you are collecting data on. The final panelist is Eileen Bright, Globe Country Coordinator for Ireland, who asked observers to collect data about the tree height of Irish trees.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aileen Bright, and I'm the Globe Country Coordinator in Ireland. We were delighted to be the first country outside of the US to test the ring fencing functionality in the Globe Observer app. We chose to measure tree height for several reasons. We wanted to align with our National Tree Week that was happening in March, but we also wanted to kind of highlight the important role that trees play in our environment. We worked closely with our colleagues to provide resources to citizen scientists around the country to take part in the campaign. And alongside that, we had a lovely video from Brian Campbell. We had over 100 measurements in total, and we even had a prize for the tallest tree that was measured, which is around 40 meters in the northern part of Ireland. We had a great experience, and we were delighted to engage citizen scientists on this. So thank you to everyone involved, and I hope to have a similar opportunity in the future.
Thank you, Eileen. We appreciate you working with the Globe Observer team to sort out the process for international requests. I'd like to mention two other projects that we hope to talk about in the originally planned longer panel session, although we don't have much time to discuss today. Nancy Brunswick, a recently retired regional landscape architect for the USDA Forest Service, had the idea to take repeat photos using Globe Observer land cover of an original set of observations from 1997 on the Dixie National Forest in Utah. Her collaboration with Globe Observer starting more than 5 years ago helped spur the development of the local project request capability, and her team is hoping to continue to use Globe Observer with visitors in the forest in the future. Yoseline Angel Lopez, an assistant research scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, created a project that requested observations of the wildflower blooms in the southwest United States to be able to identify matching satellite imagery. She also has plans for future data requests for flowering trees in South America. You can find out more about both of these projects on the Globe Observer website in the news section. We hope that hearing about all of these projects has helped you think about local projects in your area that might benefit from this type of geographically bounded data request.
Greetings, leaders. My name is Regena A., and I am Civil Air Patrol's National Commander and CEO. Today, I'd like to speak with you about how Civil Air Patrol uses our emergency services skills and the incident command system to enable volunteers to conduct large-scale data collection in support of GLOBE. Civil Air Patrol was founded in 1941, just a week before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Civil Air Patrol members filled many roles during World War II, from coastal patrols to carrying the mail to towing targets, courier service, and search and rescue. Our wartime service record led to us becoming a nonprofit corporation chartered by Congress in 1946, and in 1948 we became the Civilian Auxiliary of the United States Air Force. We are nearly 70,000 volunteers serving communities, saving lives, and shaping futures. We have three main missions. First, emergency services, diverse taskings from air and ground teams to cell forensics to radar analysis to airborne communications to tsunami warning missions. Disaster relief and search and rescue are part of our emergency services package. Our next mission is aerospace education, where we teach not only our members but the general public to understand the importance of aerospace and air power. Our third mission is our cadet program for youth aged 12 to 21. Our partnership with NASA is an outstanding opportunity because the Civil Air Patrol NASA mission that will be discussed in this presentation gives us the opportunity to combine all three programs in a single activity. While individual Civil Air Patrol squadrons contributed to the Globe Observer program as early as the 2017 Great American Eclipse, the organization as a whole began to collaborate with the Globe program in support of the 2023 Annular Eclipse when we were able to field 191 data collection teams. Data collection during the annular eclipse proved to be such an engaging aerospace experience for many of our members that the number of teams expanded to more than 400, which engaged over 4,000 Civil Air Patrol members to contribute to the 2024 Solar Eclipse project. The level of teamwork that Civil Air Patrol volunteers exhibited during the total eclipse is particularly noteworthy because the timing was critical for the mission. When a volunteer took a measurement, they knew that over 400 other volunteers across the United States were also collecting the same type of measurement at the same time. Civil Air Patrol's ability to collaborate on a continental scale created opportunities to use the Globe app in new and innovative ways. This year, 256 squadrons worked together to collect data to support NASA's research on high-altitude humidity and wind conditions through the observation of contrail formation. In order to capture the data needed, Civil Air Patrol members use a special protocol to submit their aviation weather observations via the app and then record additional metadata on a spreadsheet. A team of mission volunteers then processed the data and produced a format that could be shared with the Globe team at NASA's Langley Research Center, who then merged it with their satellite-correlated photos. While this mission is still underway, Civil Air Patrol members have already submitted over 10,000 unique observations in support of this project. The solar aviation weather missions provide examples of how Civil Air Patrol demonstrated a capability to coordinate research on a national scale. The tool we use to do this is the Incident Command System. The Incident Command System, known as ICS, was created in 1968 to help coordinate the fighting of wildfires, and it plays an important role in our emergency services and disaster response operations. During the solar eclipse missions, Civil Air Patrol members realized that using the Incident Command System allowed us to work together and create a data set that was more robust than units could create working independently. Using this model of organization to tackle Globe projects has not only increased the quality of scientific research Civil Air Patrol can do, but also gave us a valuable opportunity to practice and expand our coordination capabilities.
Hi, I'm Theresa Schwerin, Institute for Global Environmental Strategies and PI of the NASA Earth Science Education Collaborative Project. Along with my partners, Tina Ballinger, who leads Globe Goes to Camp, and Vivienne Byrd, Los Angeles Public Library, our work extends Globe and learning to out-of-school, informal education audiences. So we know learning involves three interconnected concepts across formal and informal learning. It's a lifelong journey, a continuous process throughout our lives. It is life-wide, recognizing that we learn in multiple contexts and experiences, expanding beyond the classroom. And it's life-deep, meaning that developing a deeper and more meaningful understanding involves connecting, applying, and adapting knowledge across contexts. We know that the GLOBE community includes a large and growing number of informal science educators and organizations, and in many different out-of-school settings. Beginning in 2023, when someone registered for a GLOBE educator account, they can select whether they are a teacher or an informal educator. And organizations can select whether they are a school or an informal education organization. You can see in the graph here the categories of informal education organization types include youth serving organization, library, park, zoo, aquarium, or nature center, museum or science center, or observatory. As of June 25th, there are over 3,700 unique GLOBE user IDs registered that identify as informal educators. We also know that a number of informal educators, as well as teachers, register for citizen science accounts. In the United States, there are 236 registered informal education organizations. Those are ones that registered since 2023. The chart on the right shows the number of those in orange. There are also an additional 313 organizations registered as GLOBE schools, but are serving out-of-school audiences. These were identified based on searches of the GLOBE database by the organization name and whether or not it included terms like library, camp, 4-H, planetarium, arboretum, or scouts. So our advice, if you're interested in expanding to out-of-school audiences in your community, these are the top three things we recommend doing. First, start local. Connect with your local STEM learning ecosystem. Learn what's already happening in your area and talk to those educators and organizations. Second, leverage existing GLOBE resources and knowledge, including these ones from our GLOBE Observer team. Particularly, these include a toolkit for informal educators and audience guides that have been co-created or piloted with groups like libraries, Girl Scouts, 4-H, and our newest guide, which is for camps. In the camps guide for each of the 4 GLOBE Observer tools, clouds, mosquito habitat mapper, trees, and land cover, the NASA Takes GLOBE to Camp guide includes a series of activities, journal prompts, videos, and camp-to-school connections. Finally, we recommend tapping into broader STEM learning networks and knowledge. These are my top 3. StarNet Libraries, SciStarter, and NISNet, which is the National Informal Science Education Network. All 3 of these are learning communities. They include free professional development webinars that are recorded for on-demand viewing, as well as resources and guides to engaging informal education communities. Also, they all have e-newsletters and social media that connect to large networks of those working in informal science education spaces. We've worked with all 3 on webinars and resources that include connections to GLOBE. And finally, thank you. This QR code will take you to a Google Doc with all of the links in my presentation today.
Welcome, and thank you to our GLOBE partners and community. Hi, I'm John Anderson. I'm honored to introduce PlanetWalk Clubs, an initiative deeply aligned with the GLOBE mission. As the extended reality or XR lead for the PlanetWalk organization, I've seen firsthand how immersive technology can expand environmental education and citizen science through kindness, storytelling, and data collection. PlanetWalk clubs focus on kindness and the environment and invite schools, libraries, science centers, and youth organizations to invest in the future of humanity by forming a PlanetWalk club for youths ages 8 through 18. These clubs aim to inform, inspire, connect, and mobilize students globally to demonstrate environmental stewardship through local action. GLOBE's protocols serve as the scientific backbone of this initiative, ensuring our storytelling is supported by real data. Unique to this effort are immersive learning environments and XR technology, which enables students to blend the physical and digital worlds and to create a dynamic and interactive platform for learning, sharing, and storytelling. Students explore climate issues, engage in citizen science, and amplify their voices for a better future. Clubs use immersive XR worlds grounded in the NRC's 6 strands of informal science learning, connecting scientific concepts with cultural experiences and youth voice. This is where environmental data meets empathy. The guiding light of this work is Dr. John Francis, the Planet Walker. Last year, he joined our annual meeting to engage with students and experience their XR storytelling. His lifelong commitment to silence, walking, and listening inspires our framework. John's commitment continues with PlanetWalk Africa, helping youth integrate GLOBE protocols into story-rich learning experiences as he travels from Cape Town to Cairo over the next several years. This is where silence, place, and data converge. John's walk has now gone across South Africa's Great Karoo on his way to Cairo, Egypt. Mark Brentany and John Risky has joined the walk, and these experiences are highlighting the global connectivity of GLOBE's work through XR storytelling. Back home in my state of Idaho, PlanetWalk clubs have launched in Plummer and Grace. These are small towns with big impacts. Students are now sharing their journey developing local landscapes into immersive stories using XR and scientific and cultural data sets. In Plummer, we collaborated with the Coeur d'Alene Tribe's Department of Education and went for a 17-minute walk, 1 minute for each year John Francis was silent. During this walk, students collected air temperature and cloud data using GLOBE protocols and reflected with storytelling cards that were designed to elicit personal reflections to their current location. In Grace, Idaho, where GLOBE educator Misty Newby's 8th grade class operates a GLOBE certified weather station, their ongoing atmospheric observations are now entering shared XR environments for peer learning. Students across these clubs are now using XR not just as entertainment, but as a transformation to their education. Their digital stories reflect the lived realities of their environments. A special thanks to Kathleen Cohen from the Collaboratorium for helping frame these XR worlds as a tool for empathy and equity. XR Planet Walking is storytelling powered by place. Students and citizen scientists build immersive environments from their own surroundings, uploading data, visuals, and feelings to share environmental truths with the world. Within these clubs, we also introduce students to photogrammetry, using a photograph to create 3D digital replicas of local ecosystems, tools, and natural specimens. Photogrammetry becomes a user-friendly gateway into XR. It begins with video or image capture and results in models that can be explored, annotated, and shared across the GLOBE network. These XR scenes are not fictional. They're layered with real GLOBE data. Local readings of CO2, water pH, and turbidity add depth and evidence to the experience, reinforcing that science has an emotional dimension. Students can use XR to explore their worlds. We believe by turning reality into immersive experiences, students become protectors. They show others what's worth saving and how. And most importantly, when the headset comes off, we ask, what stories does your environment tell? What do you notice when you slow down and really see and listen? This is where data becomes relational. Through storytelling, students build emotional connections to GLOBE measurements and potentially enforces or changes how they value the science. So here's how to join the walk. You can support by starting or sponsoring a PlanetWalk XR Club yourself, mentor by sharing your experience with students building XR environments, and by empowering, helping youth walk, listen, and act for the planet. Together with GLOBE, we are transforming environmental learning from something students learn into something they live.